Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tolly Towers for another slice of the halftime pie. With me today, as always, Savman and Dantison. Um, so, what type of pie is on offer today? I hear you ask. Poverty pie, recession pie, and underfunded pie. So, yeah, unfortunately, due to some budget restrictions, life has been changed here at Tolly Towers. We've had the vote of confidence, but yeah, we've basically, he's made some financial decisions in the background, and we are struggling a bit. So, just to let you know a few of the things that are going on here. So, scouting of Papua New Guinea, that's gone. No more Papua New
Really?
Guinea. I know. So, I'm
Eh,
I'm outraged at that, guys.
So what happens to TJ?
So TJ, it's a good question. On short answer is I don't know. His expense account's been closed. We can only hope that he's got a really good sense of direction and he gets home safe. So, from all us
Oh,
here,
yeah.
we
Thinking of him.
get back
Yeah,
soon.
best wishes to TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no like cannibals in Papua New Guinea, is there?
To be
They're not
honest, I'd be more
cannibalistic.
scared for the natives because I know what TJ's like.
Oh. oh.
He will be having a nibble.
Well, I
can
feel
only
sorry
hope
for
for the
the
best.
natives.
Yeah. So he'll be well fed anyway. Another update: Wi-Fi has been limited, so we're back on dial-up. We had to watch the England-Brazil game in black and white. That was fun. And if you hear this noise, do not be alarmed. That's just the noise that lets us know we need to manually top up the electricity meter. Unfortunately, if we do let that go down to zero, there will be a tiny explosion, which we do not want. The Premier League Hall of Fame nominations came out this week. Quite a few nominations. I know that they're trying to follow the NFL style Hall of Fame where, it gets announced at a specific date throughout the year. They have a ceremony. So just reading out the list now, we've got Sol Campbell, Michael Carrick, Andy Cole, Jermaine Defoe, Fabregas, Ferdinand, Fowler, Hazard, Neville, Owen, David Silva, John Terry, Torre, Van der Sar, and Nemanja Vidic. So I know there's already been about 3 ceremonies since it started. A lot of names in there. What are your initial thoughts? Any surprises? Anyone that you think should be on there? Anyone who you think should?
For me, one of them, just to clarify that Ferdinand in this case was Les Ferdinand.
I am
Rio
sorry.
Ferdinand has already been inducted in a previous year, but
And
look,
Anton Ferdinand, we're still waiting for his nomination.
Anton Ferdinand hasn't made the list yet, unfortunately. No. The first thing that jumped out to me was his gigs in there. I don't think he'd not been nominated in previous inductions because he had some problems going on. But then looking at this list, and one of the names on this list is John Terry, then
Yeah, is that
is that what
outside
they're
this
going to
debate?
do?
Yeah,
Because
that's
he's
a
had his
good
own
shout, actually.
controversies
Yeah.
in the past, and then what if we're going to do that? And I can understand the reasoning for it. And if you're going to do that all the way through, I can get behind it, and let's be
Yeah,
consistent with
but
it. But if you're not going to, then it makes a bit of a mockery of it to say, right, well, we can't put this guy in because he's won the league 13 times or whatever it was. But there was some
Something outside of
accusations
football.
outside of football, yeah, in his personal life. And then
Yeah.
I don't know the exact situation, but I think those things have gone away. I'm not sure if it's still ongoing or not. I think it's gone.
do you think that's down to the seriousness of what they've done? Maybe if it's really, really bad, like
I don't know.
Potentially,
Like,
but I
what's the
mean,
criteria for, like, have they got, like, a level list where, unfortunately you've murdered someone, you can't be included? Or is it like a yellow card system where 2 convictions and you're out? I
well,
don't
this
know.
is what makes it hard to judge the criteria that they're willing to go by, because as far as we know, they've not put Giggs on any of these lists. And just to clarify the way that this works, I think they bring out this short list, and I think fans can vote for who off this list they want to go in.
Again, that's like they don't do that in the NFL, do they? Like
No.
it's like a panel, and
Is OJ still
Yeah.
in the NFL Hall of Fame?
I thought you meant actually playing.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. But the criteria that I'm
Then
reading
that's
now.
a different sort of extreme scenario than what we're talking about in either of these cases. But still, just to illustrate the point, as far as we're aware, Giggs has been held off these induction lists for accusations that he had made. John Terry, as far as I'm aware, has been found guilty of the things that he's been accused of.
Yeah. Well, John Terry shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame because he went to collect a trophy in the full kit.
That should preclude you immediately. You are absolutely right.
Full kit wanker, you're out.
Yeah. That should be automatic ban from any shortlist going forward.
You are
I
absolutely
reckon,
right.
like as well as that, like Michael Owen just for being a bit of a knob. There should be some more criteria added in here. Like
the only criteria.
Michael Owen's a funny one because even though he was successful, particularly at Liverpool, I don't think that there'll be a lot of fans queuing up to vote for him because most of the teams that he played for, the fans
hate him.
Have gone off him big time since he left.
Do you know what I'd like to see? I think they should change it. They should have it similar to Eurovision, where different areas of the country vote for the play. Send their votes in, and you'd have like, "Hello, this is Newcastle. Coming to you loud and clear. 10 points to Shearer."
So each club has their say, like a country equivalent.
Each
to
geographic area. I don't know how they could shake it up. Like I say, it just seems a bit scattergun at the moment and a bit random.
Who would you have in your Hall of Fame if you could pick some names? So I think mine would be like Ian Dowie, random Coventry players like Peter Unlove,
Stevie Grizovic,
Vigo the Carpathian himself. Like he's got to be in there. What a guy! I'm thinking like those type of players, probably because that's what we watched when we were kids. And
Vinnie Jones, Reggie Miller. Sorry, not Reggie Miller. Reggie Blinker.
I'm gonna say yes to Vinnie Jones, but only the goalkeeper version against Newcastle.
Would you put Tony Yeboah in this?
You mean
I think you have to.
Spectacular goals
for the first 20 years of the Premier League, those goals got shown on every highlights clip. So
that's exactly it. When you think of Hall of Fame, and like you've got your WWE Hall of Fame as well, it's like these characters.
Yeah.
That like when you think of like Jimmy Bullard. And
Jimmy Bullard's a good show. I met Jimmy Bullard once.
Do you know what? I remember you. Yes, you did. How did that go?
I was on a night out in Bolton, and after we'd been out, we was in a chipper on our way home, going to get taxis, and Jimmy Bullard was in there, and he was pissed. Wigan had played Bolton that day, in Bolton away, and he must have gone out on the lash after the game. We've seen him in a chipper, and he was steaming.
While we're on the subject of Hall of Fame nominations, I know a certain person was overlooked once again, and it is fucking fuming, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. So we've hopefully got Jimmy Muir on the line. Let's hope we can welcome him to the show. Good evening, Jimmy.
Morning, all.
Morning, Jimmy.
Sorry, Jimmy, I keep forgetting about that time difference to Sheffield. Just wanted to break the news, unfortunately, that you didn't get on the Hall of Fame inductees list this time around, and see if you could share your thoughts about it.
Bastard.
He's not taken that well.
He's gone. To be fair, what did you expect to happen?
You're right. I should have taken that more into account, especially still being on his comeback from his ankle injury.
I can say,
I know.
Well, yeah.
Has there been any other setbacks, Dan, that you're aware of?
Not so far. He's just had the in the last few weeks. Like I say, it's been a tough road to recovery for him. He had the beheading first of all, then the 3 arrows in the chest, and then the slip and fall onto the anchor. he's recuperating from that now, and we're hoping that he'll be fit to make his comeback in the next couple of weeks.
I can't wait.
Let's hope he doesn't go up any satellites anytime soon.
He's very tech
surely only
savvy.
asking for trouble.
He's very tech savvy. He loves it.
Oh right,
but
okay.
I know it's not. It's a touchy subject, but is it time for him to call it a day? Is he too injury prone now?
Well, we spoke about
those
this
arrows
earlier.
and everything like that. It seems to be like a recurring thing.
Yeah.
I spoke to Savage off air about this earlier, and we was trying to work out when he made his debut, and we think it was the 95-96 season.
Yeah, I think it was.
And it's the 23-24 season now, so it's already an unprecedented, approximately 28-year top flight career that he has had.
He must have outlasted gigs on that.
He's put him in the shade.
Yeah.
What do you know?
He's put him in the shade. Although I've been checking the all-time appearance list, and for some reason the Premier League are not including him on there.
Again,
I can only imagine
big,
it must be political.
Yeah. Don't bring that up with him, by the way.
No, we won't talk about that next week.
Another big game coming up on the weekend: City versus Arsenal. Honestly, don't have a clue which way it's going to go.
It's a decider. It's going to be a make or break on this one.
It could be a make or break, and something we want to look at is combined 11s. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the City and Arsenal squads, picking one goalkeeper, 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 attackers to see what the best combination is. So, lads, I think we'll start with. Well, why don't we start the goalkeepers? Let's start at the top of the order. So, who do we think should take the number 1 spot in this combined 11? I think you've got your obvious ones like your Edison's, Ramsdale, Raya, Ortega's a good backup as well. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm going for Edison. It's a safe bet. I think he's probably one of the best keepers in the league, if not the best.
Yeah, I'd go the same. I think out of that pool, probably out of most of the league, if you had them available to pick from, you pick him. Out of this pool, I'd pick Edison.
True Grant was a close second. We just have to make that clear.
He really was. Like, what a name.
I think Scott Carson was worried someone might pick him because no one else has done for years.
He's dreading the day he actually has to play a game. Like, it's a bit weird now. Like, just retire, mate.
Seems like he's been going on forever, Scott Carson.
He really has.
This is the most successful period of his career. Not in terms of games played, but in terms of trophies won. He's flying.
Well, is he eligible for any trophy?
He gets medals, yeah. I think they've made sure that he got. It used to be that you needed to get special dispensation if you didn't make enough appearances, but I'm not sure if they've got rid of that now. If you sort of get named in the squads or whatever.
Is any City player truly eligible? Think about it.
No.
This is a decision for somebody else to make.
Yep. I think
a hero of that time, hopefully.
Yes, yeah, one day. I think Edison.
So we're unanimous with Edison.
Yeah, I think the others, like Ramsdale, can't concentrate on a game for 90 minutes. Raya, I don't know what it is. Whenever I see him, like someone always scores a goal from dead far out, and it ends up in the middle of the net on his dive. So yeah, Edison, right? There's a number 1. Let's get on to the defenders then. So
we've got 4 to pick.
We've got 4 to pick from. Let's start off with the right back. So choices are Walker from City. I think you've got Ben White and Timber and potentially.
Is Rico Lewis playing right back for City?
Do you know what? I don't even know.
Very often.
I think whenever I see him play, he's playing random positions. So I think he's just.
I've got
like
the impression
utility.
he's a right back, but I'm not 100%. I wouldn't swear on that.
I have a feeling he could be.
But I think that. So Walker, Ben White, and Timber.
I think again, this is really boring. I think that one picks itself, doesn't it? It's got to be Kyle Walker.
Yeah. That's
I'd
for me as well.
Walker.
On that right back, definitely.
Okay. Well, that was easy enough. Left back choices here. I think you've got Nathan Ake can play there.
Yeah, I was
Rico
going to say
Lewis as
City
well.
pick up some, go with some strange sort of unconventional setups. So Ake, and even though he's been traditionally a centre back, he's been more of an option at left back. So
My choice would have been Ake. That's what I wrote down anyway. Ake on the left.
Do you not go for someone who's an actual left back though?
more of a fullback, yeah.
Like,
is Zinchenko a left back? I think he is.
I don't know. Again,
I'm
he's
sure
a
when
left
he,
back,
yeah.
but every time I see him play, he seems to. He's not first choice anymore, is he?
I'm not a fan of Zinchenko. I think we'll get to the forwards later on, but him and Jesus moving from City to Arsenal, I don't know whether some people thought this is going to be what swings it. We've got the two important ones from this successful City team, but
yeah.
I don't think that was the case. Yeah, Zinchenko, he's not bad. I don't think he's outstanding, and I wouldn't pick him as me as either side fullback in this.
What about looking at Arsenal side then? Like, is Tommy Yasu the left back in Kivior? I'm pretty sure Kivior might be
I think he's
a left back.
Very young. I think he's had limited game time. I'll tell you what. Do you want to mix it up? Instead of going for 4 defenders, because we can't pick a left back, should we go for a 3-5-3?
Yeah.
That's too many players again.
3-5-2.
3-4-3.
3-4-3. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking we'll go for Walker as a centre back.
Yeah.
The other 2 centre backs then out of these, who should we go for? So we've got John Stones, Diaz, Ake, Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. I think this one's a bit more difficult.
I've got the 2 that I picked for the centre back positions are Saliba and Diaz.
Saliba and Diaz.
Diaz with that with the experience there, and he's a strong defender.
Dan, what about you? Are you similar to Savage, or?
I'm umming and ahhing, I must admit. I would pick Diaz. Leaning 50-50 between Saliba and Stones. I probably would pick Saliba as well, but I would give John Stones a lot of credit these days. I must admit, I thought he'd be sort of lost in the shuffle at City, same as Ake when he went there, but both of them have done
Pep
really well. So
Pep develops.
It's tough to choose, but playing as a back 3, I think Walker, Diaz, Saliba.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with that. I was gonna put up a strong argument for John Stones just with his ball playing ability, but it seems like I'm a bit outnumbered on this one. So we'll go with Walker, Diaz, and Saliba in a back 3.
Yeah,
I think that's a good call to pick for midfield, because there's a lot of depth in the midfield to pick from.
What do you do with this midfield then? Because you've got 4 spaces, quite narrow. Do you play a diamond?
I would like to see either De Bruyne or Odegaard in that kind of attacking midfield. If it's going to be a diamond thingy with Rodri in a central defensive midfield kind of thing.
Shall we start with the defensive midfielder then?
Yeah.
I think we'll start there and make our way forward. I think it's got to be Rodri, surely.
Yeah. One of my favourite players currently in the league. I think he is the kind of engine to City. Without him, I think they kind of fall apart a little bit. Especially when
it makes such a difference when he's not available.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the results from the games when he isn't available, you can see that, or at least that's what it looks like. I don't know if that's 100% cause and effect, but definitely there is some correlation in that.
He's not lost a game in nearly a year.
There
he's
you go.
played in. So I think that's
It
his
just
order.
shows the difference he makes when he's there.
So in agreement then for Rodri.
Yeah.
Right, two centre mids then, which might make it a little easier to pick from Odegaard or De Bruyne. So if you're picking two centre mids, so you've got options such as Partey, Odegaard, Jorginho, Rice.
I think this is really tough. I'd have been, to be honest, looking at like I say, at the list of players available from each team, I'd have been tempted to do a 2 and a 2 and have Rice and Rodri deep, but I can't do that because there's too many others
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
who
you
we need
leave
to
out
include. So
Foden? Do you leave out Bernardo
this is
Silva? Do
it:
you leave out
Foden,
De
Odegaard, De
Bruyne?
Bruyne.
Can I just say, if you would have stuck Saka in, actually, that would have still used the space. So yeah, I'm still screwed. Yeah, it's really difficult. I think off the top of my head, I'd stick De Bruyne in one of the two.
I think De Bruyne's got to go in there.
I'd probably
definitely.
stick him in there with Bernardo Silva, if I'm honest. I'm looking at the other players in there. I think Rice, sorry, I think he's been amazing, but those two are just a class above. And I don't think anyone comes close to them, to be honest.
What? Rice and
De Bruyne and Bernardo.
De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva, another player who can again change the course of the game to City's favour. He can score goals as well. A talented player.
He just keeps the ball all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He just never gives it away. He's great under pressure. I remember watching him in a game for, who was it he played for before City bought him?
Was it like Benfica or? Oh no, it was
I can't remember who it was.
It was a French team, wasn't it? It was Monaco.
I
Was it
thinking
Monaco?
Monaco team with like Falcao, Mbappe.
Mbappe,
I remember watching a Champions League game and he was just taking a piss. It was just like he just ran around with it on his own for ages. No one could get near him and take it off him. I thought, wow, this guy's unbelievable. And then they bought him, and a lot of people always say like, "Oh, you won't be able to do that in the Premier League because it's faster and whatever." But he just looked class the entire time.
I think with the midfield and this, it's going to be the majority of City players, and I think Odegaard is the only one who can sneak in my opinion.
Do you think?
I was wavering between. I think possibly for me, I'm the same. Bernardo and Foden, because Foden's won me over a lot. He's dangerous. So he scores goals, he makes chances.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
I don't know.
It depends on your system.
Odegaard a long time for me to get on board, but I started to really like him. I just think he's classy, he's silky, he makes things happen, and I think I'd probably go with that in the end.
It depends how you're going to be setting up the system. If you're going to have midfield wingers.
If we're going with a diamond with Rodri deep, Bernardo and De Bruyne as the two, and then one up, I'd go Odegaard as the point.
Yeah, that's it. If it's diamond, I'd go with that.
You're picking Odegaard over Foden?
In that system in the diamond, because I don't think Foden can. Yeah, I don't think Foden would fit well in a diamond midfield. He needs to be on the wing so he can cut inside.
Come on.
I think it'll be no. It makes you're not using him to his best of his abilities. He needs to be on a wing, running in and cutting inside.
I disagree.
No. You look at the diamond. It's more of a diamond is more narrow, and it's not going to help Foden.
He is a diamond. If you said to Foden, sorry, you're not playing Odegaard's playing in front, he'd lose his shit. I think he can play that bit centrally. I think he's just been asked to do sort of a job for Pep.
So be it. If he starts kicking up a fuss and then you see him being ineffective in the game, then you switch around and you go, well, bringing you off now because you don't fit into this diamond. Odegaard, get on.
I love how this is an actual game now. Like, right, we'll pull Odegaard off after 60 minutes. Right. Dan, do you agree Odegaard over Foden?
To be honest, my reasoning was very similar to Savage.
It's the system.
I
It
think
down
Foden
to
could.
that.
Yeah, I agree. I think Foden can play in the middle in that position. But for me, doing that with him, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and by the end of his career, everyone will say, like, that was clearly his best position. He should play there all the way through. But I think it compromises him a little bit, and you get more out of him wide, where Odegaard's best position is in the middle. So I'd probably pick him there. But
Okay, right. Well, I'm outnumbered again.
I'm prepared to
I'm
eat humble
sorry.
pie if
If yeah.
I'd rather you ate some half-time pie. We'll go with Odegaard then in your
I
system.
honestly can't believe how
It's tough in that middle.
torturous this has been to
It's-
pick, because it's Arsenal and City. It's not players that I'm attached to, but trying to pick sort of a good. It's interesting looking at some of these who've not even had a look in. Grealish, we've not even mentioned his name, and some of the others on there.
Grealish is a good impact.
Kovacic, since he's come in, has been solid, and Oscar Bob has looked dangerous at times, but you just couldn't. You can't look past the main guys, I don't think, in this.
You can't.
And I would have, if because the way Kevin De Bruyne's playing at the moment, because of the injury, it's affecting his play a little bit, I think. So a few years ago, he's a definite, and he's a definite here as well. But you could easily drop him a little bit for possibly Phil Foden, maybe. But again, it's down to the system.
Yeah, fuck your system. Shall we go on to the attackers then? I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit riled up. I think Jamie Moore's been speaking to us far too long. Right, the three attackers then. So, how are we playing this? We've got 4 in midfield, one in the 10 role. How are you playing this? Are you having just a striker and 2 wide forwards?
I think so. I think that's what I would
Haaland in the middle.
Just in theory, yeah. I think for whoever's going straight down the middle, I think that's probably going to be easy to pick, and I'd go Haaland too.
It's got to be Vigo up front, hasn't it? Surely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't think no one comes close.
Yeah, nothing comes close whatsoever. Yeah.
So on the wide positions, then I think it's I think this is a simple one as well. I'd go with Saka and Alvarez.
No. I've got Saka definitely, but I think Martinelli.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I've seen him in a few games where he's been come on as a sub, and he's changed the game for Arsenal, and he scored. And I think he may have set up, maybe assisted a goal. And I've been thinking to myself, why is he not kind of starting? Give him a chance. I think he's decent.
But hasn't Alvarez started every single game for City so far?
Yes.
Is that right?
I think so, yeah. And I'm not like an avid City fan, but looking at his fantasy Premier League points each week, he seems to be knocking it out the park.
I think it's more the assists with Alvarez. I don't see him scoring that many, and I remember on my FPL that I was placing him in, and he didn't really get goals. Even when Haaland was out, it wasn't, he's setting the team alight and scoring the goals. It was other players coming.
I think he pops up every now and again, but he's dangerous and he contributes. I'd go for Alvarez.
Can we have Alvarez, Savage, seeing as though we've been outnumbered twice?
Yeah.
For me, Martinelli.
I will.
Just to cover off the other position, I would go with Saka as well. So Saka, Haaland, Alvarez.
Yeah,
go through Arsenal's options, I think Martinelli. He has his moments, and I know that the fans. I think he's a good prospect, or better than that he's already there. For me, I think he's still a bit inconsistent and a little bit lightweight. Where Alvarez, he delivers. He's beats his man. He's in the right positions. I don't know if there's a bit of whether the system favours him, sort of similar to how it might have done with Sterling, where it's work it wide of the net, cross it, someone taps it in from 6 yards. But whatever it is, if it's not, it still works.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
I'd
guess
go
so.
Saka, Haaland, and Alvarez.
let's go through the team then. We've decided this is the dream
What have we
team.
got?
We're going to go with Edison in goal. We've got back three of Walker, Diaz, and Saliba. Midfield, defensive midfielder is Rodri. Midfield two of De Bruyne and Silva, with Odegaard playing as an attacking mid. Then your three forwards, Saka on the left, Haaland, Vigo the Carpathian through the middle, and Alvarez
The scourge
on the
of Etihad,
right. Yeah, command you. What about manager? Who do you pick? I'm taking a piss.
Between Pep and
Arteta. Yeah, I'm taking a piss. Yeah. only a little jokey from me there. Oh, sorry. Electric's going. So.
I just want to be left alone.
Oh, that's the voice of Bodd there. I think he was quite pleased that we were getting shut down, but thankfully Savage managed to get the coin in time.
I thought he was laughing because someone was suggesting picking Arteta over Pep.
Yeah, no, that's...
You have disgraced yourself, and you must be punished.
Wow.
Over the week, we saw some comments from a particular footballer about a Premier League Hall of Fame nominee, Nemanja Vidic. It was called out by a certain Gary Taylor Fletcher over Twitter. It seems to be like all the rage these days. Players going after specifically Nemanja Vidic, saying he's overrated, never had any trouble. So one of my favourite things to do is with Danteson is to, drop the bomb and walk off, so to speak. So, Dan, any specific thoughts on what Gary Taylor Fletcher said, if you can remember who he is?
The first time I saw this, I was sort of... I couldn't believe it could be serious. I thought he must be... I thought he must have seen Agbonlahor do it and thought, that'll be fun. I'm going to do that as well.
I want a job at TalkSport.
Well, maybe that is it. It worked for Agbonlahor. It can work for me too. Watch this. Vidic is shit. Put that on. Tweet that, and then sit down and wait for my phone to ring, and then I'll be on radio in the morning. I don't know what I don't know what brought it on, but just to go through what he actually tweeted, and it was BBC Sport that retweeted this to publicise it to the people. He tweeted in reference to Vidic, I tore him apart twice for Blackpool in 2010-11. He was nowhere near the levels of Ferdinand Terry and Virgil van Dijk. He was the same level as Skirtle, solid, good player, not elite. So if you ignore the comparison to other players there, whatever your opinion is of other defenders, or if Vidic was elite or not, I don't care about that. But his own involvement in this, I tore him apart twice in the 2010-11 season. So I thought, well, that's interesting. I'll have to see what did he do in these games.
What did he do?
So I went back and had a look at first of all the results, and then the stats for the games, and then Gary Taylor Fletcher's stats for the season. And I watched the highlights for the games as well to see what involvement he had. Admittedly, it was not extended highlights, and it's hard to find that all these years later. But still,
I love this, like how much detail you've gone into, like the level of pissed off you've got to be like, I'm calling this fucker out.
Every time I thought about it all week, I thought, that can't be what he said. And then I'd see it, and I think, I just was shocked, so I had a look anyway.
Can I just ask, did you see this before I actually sent that photo? All right.
You sent it to me, and I read it, and like I say, I couldn't believe that that's what it said, and I read it again. And then I thought, I'll have to look at that and see what happened in those games, because I couldn't remember them. Yeah, I mean, it's a long time ago, but I couldn't remember Well, I remember we got battered and Gary Taylor Fletcher destroyed us and Vidic was humiliated or anything like that. So I thought, I'll go and have a look. So obviously we played them twice in that year. The first game was away at Blackpool and United won 3-2, but we did, in fairness, we did go 2-0 down by half time. An early goal from Craig Cathcart and one just before half time by DJ Campbell made it 2-0 at half time. But then United went on to come back and win that game.
I remember that Berbatov scored. I remember him scoring.
He scored 2 in 4 minutes
Yeah.
in the second half. Oh no, sorry. Him and Chicharito scored 2 in 2 minutes, and then Berbatov scored a winner 2 minutes from the end. And in that game, Gary Taylor Fletcher had no shots on goal, on or off target. He had 38 touches of the ball, which was the second fewest on his team. And I found the match text report and I sent it to you guys just to illustrate the point.
Yeah.
And you can see that this text report is enormous.
I love it.
It's massive, right? And do you know how many times Gary Taylor Fletcher gets mentioned in that match report?
Go on.
In this game where he tore Vidic apart? Would you like to hazard a guess as to how many?
4?
Twice.
No, it's none.
None. Are we definitely sure he played?
He played. He got subbed off
Oh,
in the
wait a minute.
73rd minute.
I have seen this. It does say, but the second did come again. The ball entering United's net via post as Taylor Fletcher met David Vaughan's low cross.
That's the other game. That's the shorter match report. So the big long match report.
Right.
He didn't score in that game, and he's not mentioned at all. But he tore Vidic apart. He had no shots. He didn't score. He had the second fewest touches, and he wasn't mentioned at all in the match report in that game. The second game was the last day of the season. It was a relegation battle. I think there was 5 teams who could go down that day. And Gary Taylor Fletcher scored in this game. Let me find the. So again, they went ahead.
Yeah.
United went ahead first. Park Ji-sung scored. Blackpool went 2-1 up. Charlie Adams scored. Then Gary Taylor Fletcher scored.
How did he score? Do you know? Have you seen the goal?
I've seen the goal, and this is mentioned in the match report. In the other match report, text report, the journalist has written, I think he's described it as a deft touch at the near post, a deft flick that left Van der Sar helpless. But after reviewing the goal, I think we can all we can only charitably describe it as a mile offside. But there was no VAR back then. The goal was given. The commentator didn't mention it. But strictly speaking, that should have been disallowed.
Was that the only goal he scored?
Yes, that was the only shot he had in that game. And he had a 65% pass accuracy in that game.
Love the stats. You got to be wrong somewhere, though. He said he tore him apart. So it must be he ran at him. Vidic fell on his arse, and then he rounded Van der Sar, something like that.
Oh no, the goal itself was a cross from wide, and Gary Taylor Fletcher was offside in front of the first man. The first man in front of the linesman that the linesman was looking at was Gary Taylor Fletcher. He got there first because there was no one else, and he was in front of the last man.
I
defender.
actually loved the mark he put down on that.
He pokes it in with the outside of his foot, which put Blackpool 2-1 ahead. Hero moment. Right. Except 5 minutes later, Anderson equalised, and then 12 minutes after that, United scored again to make it 3-2, and then 7 minutes after that, Owen scored to make it 4-2. Okay. And then when the game ended after 9 minutes, Blackpool were relegated.
Okay. So he was, instead of focusing on the fact that he failed his team and his fans by getting them relegated, he invented something to make himself sound better than he actually was and demean Nemanja Vidic.
I'm not quite sure, but to me, surely the most memorable thing about that day wasn't I tore Vidic apart. Let me just find that quote again and see exactly. I don't want to misquote him. I tore him apart twice for Blackpool. So one of them was this one. But surely the most memorable thing about that day was being relegated out of the division, not your offside goal and tearing Vidic apart. I don't think Vidic was the man that he got away from when he was offside either. I think it was the other centre-back.
Do you know what it seems to be? It's like since Donald Trump has come into like existence in like the mainstream media, he's basically spouting any old bollocks. Like he's as if like lies are the truth, and
So
even if there's footage out there.
Just to get shock value, is that what it is? Is that he's just an attention seeker?
Well, that's it. I don't know if like he's headed too many balls. He's got like dementia or something. But he must know that there's footage out there. You're not playing against Wycombe Wanderers, and where someone might have filmed it on a camera phone.
No, and I'm not Sherlock Holmes. I'm just a disgruntled Nemanja Vidic fan who read it and thought, surely not. I think someone maybe needs to check on Gary. But
so, if you could sum up what Gary said in a few words, Dante's Son's thought for the day:
just don't talk any more bollocks.
Don't talk any more bollocks.
Yeah, that's surely the least I can ask.
That's it. I think
we're begging you, please. If the one thing
like you said,
this podcast, just stop talking bollocks.
Oh, further. So this season, where he tore Vidic apart twice, he scored 6 goals, and 4 of those games they lost in. So
you don't hear him like the opposite, like saying, "Oh yeah, such and such a player was massively underrated and should have been."
I'll tell you what, when we played the Stadium of Light at Sunderland that year, it was fucking hard work. But against Vidic at Old Trafford, it was a piece of piss.
Shall we have a little bit of competition, continue the ongoing struggle between Dante's Son and Savage? I think we've got some prices right upcoming.
Long time no see.
Welcome back, Harry. I know you had a little bit of a word before and you weren't particularly happy. Hopefully you've calmed down. It's not all bad. So I think we're currently, what's the score? Is it 2-1 to Savage?
I think so, yeah. Right. Pressure's on.
So the pressure is on. Triumphant return to the top last week.
Well, that's it. You're back ahead now. Are you gonna stay there, or are you gonna crumble? That's what we're gonna find out. Pressure gonna get to you. Dan's breathing down your neck, not literally, because that would be terrifying.
I would. Where's that restraining order?
It's not getting delivered. That's where it is. So similar rules as last time. So we're gonna ask Harry a question. And the question is, which of these players was sold for the most money throughout their careers? So I think who you think of when like transfer fees throughout the years, how much they've accumulated, and Harry loved that kind of thing. Loved. I'm sure at least half of these players will have been managed by him. So. Just let you know, if you get it right, Harry will say,
Nico Cranchell, what a player you were, Nico. Great ability.
Get it wrong and
fuck off.
So
is this combined transfer fees over every transfer throughout the career?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Yep.
I think so.
Okay, right. You know what? I'm going to switch it up. So usually we go with Savage, but I think we're going to put Dan first.
Oh.
Does that sound good, Dan? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So out of these two, and you put these in the same bracket, footballing ability-wise as well. So who accumulated the most transfer fees throughout the career? Ronaldinho or Craig Bellamy?
Oh, it would be easy to go for Ronaldinho. But I'm scared that Craig Bellamy has had a lot of transfers and he might have racked up some fees.
He has.
I'm just thinking, where did Ronaldinho go? He went to he was at PSG already, so they must have paid a fee for him. He went to Barca. That was a reasonable size fee, but it wasn't enormous by this day's standard. I think he went to Milan and PSG as well, but I don't know whether either of those paid big fees for him. Bellamy played for every club.
Norwich,
He did.
Newcastle,
Liverpool.
City, Liverpool.
So, yeah, I think I'm gonna I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Craig Bellamy.
Let's see if that limb is correct to go out on.
Fuck off.
Oh no!
Oh no, that just sounds foolish now. After all the reasoning,
do you know
he
what?
still went with Craig Bellamy. How stupid can you be?
You talk yourself into that one. Oh, I love
did.
it, like the rationale behind it. And Harry's shaking his head. He's disgusted.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah, and so's Ronaldinho too.
Right.
So Ronaldinho, total fees £64 million.
And what about Bellamy then?
Bellamy 61 million.
Oh, I didn't think it would be that club.
It wasn't as stupid as it sounded. It was not a big gap.
It really wasn't.
No.
So, yeah, that's not a great start. Next one. So you still redeem yourself. Two giants of the game for different reasons. Ronaldo R9 and Harry Maguire.
Oh God.
Oh, that's another tough one.
Ronaldo, again, he had a lot of moves. He was at PSV. I think they got him cheap. He went to Barca for
Inter Milan.
a reasonable fee, but it was small compared to these days' prices. Then Inter Madrid paid a good chunk for him. And Harry Maguire. I think it's going to be Harry Maguire.
You think? Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Right, let's see. Is that right?
Nico Crancho, what a player you were, Nico. Great
That's
ability.
You're back on the good side now.
Yeah, it must have been that.
I was worried it was going on the
transfer.
Craig Bellamy pile.
No, you're still alive.
Thankfully, Ed Woodward is so bad at transfer dealings, he's got me back in the game.
That's it. You know, he's pulled you out of some scrapes, hasn't he? Last one for you, Dan. These two, I think they both played for Inter Milan. Mario Balotelli and Luis Figo. Which one accumulated the most for transfer fees?
Oh, again, Balotelli had a lot of moves. I don't think a lot of them would have been for a lot of money, though. Not after sort of he'd made his reputation and he was just bouncing from place to place. I think Figo.
You think Figo? Oh, let's see.
Fuck off.
Oh no! I'm afraid Balotelli was sold for 10 million more. 72 million Balotelli and 62 million Figo.
Wow!
Have you got the moves? Which clubs he went to?
I wasn't prepared to put that much effort in, Dan. I'm afraid.
Fair enough. I'll get this in time for next week's episode. Don't you worry. We'll have a little section on this bit for next week.
That's it.
But yeah, I know Figo had moved from Barca to Real, and I think that was quite a big deal. And then Inter bought him for a bit, but
hasn't like
Balotelli's had that many moves. Even if he was only like 2 million each, it might be enough to outdo him.
Oh, that's it. He's still going, isn't he?
He's in bench league in it at the moment.
Mad bastard.
Could be anyway.
Oh, so Savage.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, you haven't got to do much to get over the line. So it's just say any name basically.
Yeah.
So let's go. First one out of these two, which was sold for the most transfer fees: Coutinho or Griezmann.
Ooh.
And I want to hear your rationale as well, similar to Dan.
To Dan there. So Coutinho, I don't know where he came from when he went to Liverpool, was it?
When he went to Liverpool, he came from Inter Milan.
Inter Milan. Then he went over to Barcelona before then coming to Aston Villa. So there's a couple of moves there.
With a little stop on loan at Bayern in between.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But that's a loan. It won't really count. or does it? Was there some kind of fee involved there?
Again, a Savage, I wasn't really prepared to put that much effort in.
Ah, boo! Oh, damn
I
it.
don't know either. I do remember it happening, but I don't know if they paid a fee.
Similar to what Coutinho experienced as well.
And who's the other player? Griezmann.
Griezmann, yeah, he's another who played for Barca. Like signed close
Atletico.
together for ridiculous fees and failed.
He went to a French club as well. Was it PSG? Am I wrong on that?
I think you're wrong there.
You're wrong there, yeah. I'm going to go Griezmann on this.
You're going Griezmann. Okay, let's see if you're right.
Nico Crancho, what a player you are, Nico. Great ability.
That's a great start.
Well done.
Thank you.
Right, you're guaranteed at least a tiebreaker. Let's see if you can get it over the line with this one. So, Hernan Crespo or Sadio Mane?
Okay. Crespo, Inter Milan. He went to Chelsea. Or was that before? We could be actually after. Crespo. I'm gonna go Mane.
Going Mane. Let's see if you're right.
Nico Crancho, what a player you are, Nico. Great ability.
He's done it.
Good shout again.
He has done it.
I know that Crespo had lots of moves. Then he Palmer.
I think it was with Mane.
He played for both Milan clubs. I think he played for Inter and AC.
I think he did. Mane's bit. I think the one that kind of sealed it for me on that was Mane going over to the Saudi Arabian League.
Well, was that for that much though? I know. I think they
I
signed
would have thought that the Liverpool and the Bayern moves.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that was a majority of it. So Mane was 130 million and Crespo 127.
Wow,
that's really close.
Really close.
That is.
It's interesting that a player these days can accumulate that fee in 2 moves or 3 moves, and it took someone else who had lots of moves their full career to get up to those prices.
For the last one then, and you're playing, I was going to say for pride there, but I think we both know that that's not going to happen. Robbie Keane or Zinedine Zidane?
Ooh. I'm going to go Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane?
I think he's had a few moves. I think Zidane, not that many. I know Juventus to Real Madrid.
Okay, so let's see.
It was a world record fee when it happened.
Well, yeah. Well, I think Robbie Keane has gone to Tottenham a few times, well, maybe twice.
5 times. That's what I was wondering. How many times in his career did he play for Spurs? I think you might be right. Let's see.
And I think this is a nat one to finish on because I think Harry Redknapp's responsible for about 90% of these fees. So, Keane or Zidane? You've said Keane, is that right?
Nico Crancho, what a player you are, Nico. Great ability.
Of course, it's Robbie Keane.
Wow, that's crazy.
104 million compared to Zidane's measly 88 million.
Wow,
that is crazy.
Yeah, that is mad. That.
So he had lots of moves though. Coventry.
Yeah.
Milan.
What, Zidane?
He managed Gordon Strachan at Coventry.
Him and Grizovic, the dream team.
He popped up a couple of times, this Coventry team. They had. Do you remember Mohamed Hadji and Youssef Chipo?
Oh, do I?
Oh, yeah.
I remember Darren O'Connor. I remember who else? Dion Dublin. Legends.
Dion Dublin.
The great Dion Dublin.
Get those in the Premier League Hall of Fame. Sod you, Gerrards, Lampards, and Scholes.
Yeah.
These are iconic players.
They are. But anyway, Savage, you've won again. You're pulling away now. Dancy-son, you need to up your game.
I think what really threw you off is that first one.
Your brain just couldn't comprehend how that works.
I think this has happened before. Trying to use any logic and reasoning has backfired on me horribly. Maybe I should not do that in future.
Or maybe you should get a job on TalkSport. So
I'm competing with Gary Taylor Fletcher for the position, so the competition's tough.
That's all for today's episode. We'll see what happens next week because, to be honest, we're running on the bare minimum at the moment. I think Dan is currently cycling a wheel to power the electricity so we don't explode. And it's also powered by his rage for Gary Taylor Fletcher. So I think he'll be able to power.
That should keep us going for a
We'll
while.
be
yeah.
we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I think we'll be
But
fine.
anyway, cheers, guys, and until next time on the Halftime Pie, in a bit.